Should start now. So, first of all, very good evening to all, good afternoon to all, and thanks for joining this talk during this COVID quarantine days. Actually, this talk, hope everybody is taking due care and maintaining proper social distancing norm while carrying your day-to-day activity. And to begin with, normally I have never spoke on my business side, and I'm used to speak on my technical issues supported by PPT, and never used to talk like this forum, quite of a kind of a bhashan type of thing. But when Think India asked me to conduct this session, that there are quite a few research scholars and they would like to know how research can be converted into or how can we take research from lab to market. So that was quite an interesting topic for me, because I feel that best time in the life I had was my 4 year being a research scholar at IIT Bombay. That was a wonderful time, and I think that helped me a lot in creating my whatever I could do as an entrepreneur, as a business guy. And it's further important because every year almost 1.2 crore appears for 12th, and everybody aspires to be in good institute like IITs, AIMS, National Law School and whatnot. But very few thousands and lakhs actually get into that. So these are the cream of the cream of India, and if those guys studying in this type of national institute can't give the jobs, if they become job seekers rather than job provider, then it is a big problem. Because I feel, being a talented lot of the India, it's their responsibility also to become a job provider than job seeker. These are now buzzwords like research, innovation, knowledge-based economy, startups, or the buzzing word nowadays. And it's very important also, because when we are talking that Indian economy, we are looking at $5 trillion economy in next few years. And how we reach to that 5 trillion economy, for that we need growth rate of some 9%. And say, as of now in this COVID, forget this bad time, these times will also change and things will change for sure. But we need to grow at minimum rate of 9 to 10%. And how we can achieve this growth rate? So I think startup is the only solution, because whenever you do startup, you essentially start from zero, and then whatever wealth you create. So whatever success you do divided by zero is infinity. There might be some few mathematicians there, they can know that if you divide anything, if you put zero as a denominator, what growth you get is infinite. So if you want to have this type of growth, we don't have any other option but to go for a startup mode. And it doesn't matter that if your startup is small or big or medium, but it's important that you get into that path for your own satisfying your own passion and your own satisfaction. Typically, we can act as a solution provider, and we can solve problem of our industry, our locality, which generally big corporates are not bothered for. Means big corporate will not look at certain problem, but we have a better connect, so we can be a better solution provider. And based on my experience, I can tell you that if you can provide the solution, you can have a great market. Like it's always like that, people will pay you for giving solution and providing solution. So whole idea of doing your startup is to solve some practical life problem. I like to refer you one book by Nirmala Kumar, like India Inside. Like it's like Intel Inside, you must have seen. So that book cover up the emerging innovation challenges to West. It discusses that a lot of innovations are happening, and they are calling it invisible innovations, because most of this innovation is happening under the banner of MNC companies. So though many Indians are innovating, it's not coming to their name, and a lot of MNCs are taking credit for that. So they are calling it that invisible innovation. So I'll strongly recommend you to read this book, Inside India, by Nirmala Kumar, and it can give you good insight that how the product can be taken from lab to market. And I think startup is the best vehicle to carry your research to the market. And it will not only help Indian economy, but it will also help in creating a lot of jobs and solving the problem of local industry. As I told initially also that again, I don't feel I am qualified to tell anybody that how you can create a great business. But what I told Mrityunjay also, that typically I'll be talking about my story, that how I started and being a research scholar from the lab. And if you can draw some parallels from that, I'll be very happy. So my story started in 2000 when I was doing my masters. I used to come to IIT Bombay for some experimentation, and I came across this professor Abhijit Mukherjee, and we was working on some area. And actually I was very bored after staying for 6 years in Mumbai hostel. I was not interested in staying anymore in Mumbai and wanted to go back to my home in Jalgaon because I'm quite fed up. But during my stay at IIT, I could develop good friend, and they said that there is one good project by US Navy, and US Navy are having their military establishment across the world, and they wanted to repair a few establishments, and for that they have conducted a pilot study. And Mumbai being a coastal area, they have choose Bombay as a area where they want to conduct the studies of their repair system for harbors. And they have chosen IIT Bombay as a main institute, a collaborative institute. With them, they are going to do this project. And he said, why don't you apply? It was just extensions of my masters, because in masters I was studying durability aspect of RCC structure, and what project was offered to me was just extension of that. Still I was reluctant to go. So till the time I appeared for interview. In fact, I went for the interview, and I developed a cold feet that I should not appear for the interview, and because I don't think I'll be able to pull up my PhD. And so I said, my friend, boss, I'm not coming, means I don't want to do PhD. But then funny thing happened. Then he said, you don't want reimbursement for your railway ticket? Because in those days they used to reimburse railway ticket fare to the candidates. So I was like, yes, I want to, yes, if they are providing, I like to take reimbursement for this ticket. So he said that in that case you need to appear for interview, because unless you are not appearing for the interview, they will not give you reimbursement for ticket. So with that that attraction to recover my reimbursement money, I appeared for the interview, and I got selected. But again, as I said, I was very clear, because what happened in our Indian education system, most of the time we don't follow our passion. We become engineer because our parent tell us. We become doctor because our parent tell us. So it's, at least in our time, I don't know, I am talking to much younger generation, and you don't have that type of peer pressure. But still, Indian parenting is like that. You're always under pressure to do X, Y, Z. So I thought that I became civil engineer because my father was civil engineer. Then I did my master in structural engineering, because we have a class system in that also, that if you do structural engineering, it is good. If it is you foundation engineering, not that good. Like you have in medicine, if you are doing surgery, it is best. Orthopedics good. Other departments not that good. Kind of a class system is there in every field. But while doing PhD, I was very clear that if I want to do it, I am going to do it for my own sake. And then when I found that this area is really of my passion, and I was very sure that I'll be able to give some solution to this, I got into this PhD. So what I feel, selecting subject guide is very important. Like you select the subject for which you are really passionate about, because then only you'll able to put your wholehearted effort. If you are not liking something, please don't do, or you can always shift your area of interest, or you can always pursue what you like during PhD. In fact, I feel that PhD gives you chance to experiment on public's cost. Means typically you can do the experiment on public call. So that's what I will say, that you follow the passion. So in 2000 I got into IIT for PhD, started my work, and in 2001 Bhuj earthquake happened. And Bhuj earthquake, there were major damages of the structure, and IIT was IIT Bombay, and my professor was a structural consultant for that project. And then he said, Mangesh, why don't you go and lead that project, because somebody need to be sit at the site in Bhuj earthquake, IFCO Kandla site, and guide them. So he gave me that opportunity, and I was very happy to grab that opportunity. For 3 months I was there in Bhuj. It was very difficult to stay post earthquake because there were no hotels then. In fact, IFCO had guest house, but it was advised, because of lots of aftershocks there, it was advised not to stay in your guest house, and it was advised to stay in tents. So we stayed in tents, and that was peak of summer. Means I was there during April, May. In Kutch, if you go there, it is very hot. Water is salty, so I end up getting a lot of skin rashes, sunburns. But I was enjoying my job, and that 3 months of on-site exposure taught me a lot about my business, and actually I could. It helped me a long way. So when I came back, I was very clear that I want to pursue it, or I want to convert it as a business, and I told it to my guide that yes, I'm interested in doing that. And then again, one good thing happened being in IITs, that you get good exposure. That I know you are exposed to a lot of conferences, seminar. In fact, I will advise you that you must take opportunity, you must connect people there. So in one of that seminar, my guide could not go, so he sent me, and I give that lecture, and I forget it there. And I just told that we can provide solution for your bad structures, and if any issue, we have this technology. Frankly speaking, we are importing material from US, because US Navy was providing us material then. So we through us some private players. So we was not having material, but as a theoretical case, we presented our case, and I forgot that. And then suddenly what happened, that one fine day, in business we say that मौत और कस्टमर कभी भी आ सकता है, मीन्स दैट्स द केस, मतलब कस्टमर एंड डेथ कैन कम एनी टाइम. So I was surprised that one day I got call at 5:30 a.m. and I used to work late in lab, so normally I used to sleep at 2:30 a.m. and suddenly I got this call at 5:30 a.m. and that happened to be a call of a consultant who attended my conference, and he said that he is having some problem and he want to have solution. So I was surprised why he's calling at 5:30, but I didn't say. I said that fine, I'll get back to you and I'll call you. And then I went to department and I told my guide that this has happened. So he said that why don't you take up this? And he advised me one thing, that Mangesh, never undersell yourself. सस्ते में कुछ करना नहीं. You take a premium rate, because that only will be able to survive. So frankly speaking, I quoted very exorbitant rate then. And it so happened, because ultimately I know why that guy called me at 5:30, because he was a municipal employee and he was doing moonlighting as a structural consultant, and there was mistaken in design and he urgently want to fix it. So when I met him, I asked him, why you called me at 5:30 a.m. He said that, see Mangesh, I have a regular BMC office from 9:30, so from 5 o'clock to 8:30 I sit in my office doing my private practice, and then at 8:30 I leave for my job, and I am really in problem, because I think I am responsible for this bad design, I need to fix it. So fine, we gave him this very exorbitant quote, and because it was the solution, because no other solution, or nobody else could give him that type of solution. He wanted to execute that solution, and that's how we got that job. I got that job. I told my sir, and with his help I could manage material delivery also. But it so happened that I found that in 3 days I could earn almost 3 lakhs. In those days when my scholarship was 12,000, within 3 days I could earn around say 3 lakhs. So I was like thrilled. Means I kind of a test of blood. And then I said that, oh my God, this is something crazy. Means it is an interesting thing. And my father also used to tell me that, Mangesh, job mat kabhi karna. खुद का practice करना, खुद का business करना, but never do a job. So I could revalidate it that yes, if you do properly and if you provide really proper solution, there's the money and people are there to accept it. So that's how it happened, and I got my first job. But doing first job while doing PhD with permission of my guide was a fantastic thing. I was not having much expense. I was unmarried, having great time. But then I passed out, and when I did my pre-synopsis and I was writing my paper, I was doing active pitching for my business. I got tense when I gave almost 52 proposals. I gave 52. I must have made more than 100 people and must have given 52 proposals in almost 10 months. 10 months I was meeting people, I was giving proposal, but I could not crack a single job. So then I felt that whether I am on right track. So I feel that in entrepreneurship, it is very important to have that type of patience, because if I would not have kept that type of patience, then for 10 months I would have lost my courage that boss, it is not working, leave it and find something else. It would have never worked. So I feel that this patience is very important. But I feel that the qualities you require to do your PhD and qualities you require to start any startup business are almost same. Being research scholar, we are hard worker. We have a lot of passion about our work, and then we have a lot of patience also. I know a lot of research scholars, without patience you can't do PhD. Similarly, in case of business also, without patience you can't do business. So these are very common attributes which are required for PhD and business. So it place us at very good position, we can really do it very well. Only two things apart from all these qualities I said, that hard work, patience, keep on experimenting, which we do in PhD also. In business also we keep on experimenting, trying different things, and then see. Only in case of business we are doing it with our own money. In PhD we are doing with government money. So all these things are same. Only two more things which require are like your contacts, right contacts, and I would say a little bit of luck. Contacts, I think you can always develop very good contact through this National Institute by attending different conferences. You are exposed to world-class education, world-class field guys. Keep on publishing, that gives you different types of exposure. And once you get that, I don't find it difficult for any research scholar to try into entrepreneurship business. Apart from that, two, three more important things which I feel are important nowadays is a collaborative efforts. Means even those days I know we were working on composite materials, so those are new in civil engineering, but those were very commonly used in aerospace engineering. So I did many courses in aerospace engineering. So being civil engineer, if I doing studies of materials of aerospace engineering, it gives me a lot of edge. So, and in practice also, ultimately you have to deal with lot of interdisciplinary thing going ahead. So that also helps a lot in business. And if you talk to any business school guy, he'll say one thing, that your IQ is fine, IQ sabka hai, iske liye you are in IIT or you are in whatever in. But what is becoming more is important is EQ. So your emotional intelligence, what they say that. And I think ABVP work helped me a lot in that, because I was continuously working for ABVP. ABVP give you great exposure to dealing with the different start of the means. I always say that ABVP is nothing like but mini MBA. If you are in ABVP, you are not less than an MBA. Means you handle so many things there that it makes you ready for taking any of life challenges. So that helped me a lot in my business. My ABVP training, which I did almost for throughout my being a student, I was connected there. So that also helped me a lot in starting up this business. One more thing help is being a non-married at that time, because then you can take risk. You don't have any tension of supporting your family. You are alone. So during that initial days, means there is a principle of 1,000 days, that if you follow something for 1,000 days, you will succeed in that. So business is like that. It's typically 3 years. So typically, if you can hold on something for that 3 years, if you hold on this, you'll definitely be a successful. So going ahead, I always say that if you follow something with passion and consistently, because consistency and consistency and patience are very important in this. And if you remember, India lost World Cup in 2019, and there was the next day there was an interview of Virat Kohli in Times of India, and he said that fine we lose, but we have to stand up again and practice same thing consistently, doing same thing again and again. And he said that being consistent is boring because you are doing same thing again and again. But you see any player, you see any artist, he perform for that small duration, but for that 3 year duration he practiced for 10 years, he 15 years, he put his that type of effort, पूरी जिंदगी लगा देता है, and then we see that glory of that 3 hours. So that consistency, though it is boring, it is very important. I always feel that if you are less intelligent, that is fine, but you have passion, hard work and patience, you can do wonders. I'll just sum up. It might be the effect of this quarantine because I'm watching too much of movies nowadays. And yesterday I was this Chak De India, and in that, if you see the dialogue, last dialogue of Shah Rukh Khan, where before the final he tells all these girls that ये 70 मिनट है तुम्हारे पास जिंदगी के जो कोई तुमसे छीन नहीं सकता है. So I would say that this being a research scholar, you have this great 4 to 5 years in front of you जो तुमसे कोई छीन नहीं सकता है, and you do a great, you devote yourself, you develop an idea, you work towards the solution, and then you get into market, and I am sure nobody can stop from you being a successful. So I rest here. If any questions are there, I can take. Hope I didn't bore you much in this quarantine seasons, and if you have any question, I'll be happy to reply those. I got this. We need venture center or incubations. I think nowadays most of the IITs are having incubation center. I'll tell my experience because I applied for incubation then, but then it was rejected because they said that my business model is highly service based. But it didn't stop me from that. And I started anyway. But nowadays, a lot of incubation centers are there, and those are more flexible than what it used to be in our time. So definitely, if you can getting incubation facility, I think that is the best way to pitch your product, and it will definitely help you going ahead. So yeah, that's true. Best way to get investment, fine. Investment is the one question I've because it depending on your credibility. In my case, because this job was urgent, and I think being research scholar of IIT Bombay gave me some credibility. So in my first job I insisted on advance. I said that without advance I can't work because I am a student, I don't have money, so you pay me advance, then only I'll be able to do. But apart from that, I think if you built a good relations with your supplier, and if you can develop a good credit line, I don't feel initial investment is a problem. And it's again depending on what type of business you are into it. And going ahead, like everybody is telling that now post COVID there is going to be challenge because you will not see a lot of big investment, you will not find big investor. So low debt, high margin business will be it will be more sought after. I think being a research scholar, we are into exactly that league. We are selling our intelligence rather than we are selling our idea, and that should require less investment. So invest in the idea and try to convince your stakeholders. And I don't think investment is a major challenge in that case. Don't go for major funding to go ahead. You build up your corpus and then you take ahead from that. CSIR lab, CSIR lab also becoming more practical oriented nowadays. We are doing couple of projects with CSIR lab, and mandate for them also is to become self-sufficient. So you can tie up with CSIR labs also. How did you decide what you just want to do with business? What made you take that risk? Frankly, okay, good. Why I came to business is to be honest, you know that after doing PhD, you have very little career option. You become either faculty or you become any private research law. I think I was underestimating myself then. I thought that I am not a professor material. I am not. I've been taught by some fabulous professor, and I've thought that I'm not up to mark. I'm not as intelligent or as talented them as them. So I always felt that being a professor is not my cup of tea. And as I said, my ABVP background helped me in exploring the world and give me type of daring to explore business successfully. So I never thought of other career. Means it's difficult for others, but it was very clear in my mind that I'm not going to do a job. That was very clear. I never did any job anywhere except for apprenticeship, but that was my mindset or my nature was like that. So again, it's up to you. How to maintain a good relationship with investor and stakeholders? Honest and straightforward. These are the two important things, because uh, your credibility, you don't think for short term gain, but look for a long term perspective. Be honest. If you are failing miserably, you tell. If you are making losses, if you are faulted on something, be honest. And I think honesty and straightforwardness is only way that you can sustain in long term business. I always say that in business you are running marathon, you are not sprinting. And in sprint you can take unnecessary risk, you can do jumping here and there, but if you are into long term business, you can careful about that. So it's important that you are very honest in your approach. So what should be taken to is business and visibility in visibility nowadays, you have like so many platforms. In fact, when we started, it was not having Facebook, LinkedIn, or type of exposure you guys have. In our days, we used to publish and used to attend many conferences, and in conferences, all type of conference, national, international, and practically especially I used to go where a lot of practitioners are coming, so presenting at a lot of places. In fact, initially you all are bad presenter, but as I said, if you do same thing again and again, it gives you pretty good confidence in taking up the thing. So I think presenting yourself at different forums is definitely going to help. I think it's I have answered all. How much government policies are responsible for delay in lab market? I don't think government. We should blame government for this. Means we have to be. Means government policies. Government. I think, as I said, government is. You can't depend on government too much. In my case, I am happy that I am a product of government, and I always feel that investment in human resource is the best investment, because government might have spent throughout my career, because I've learned in government schools, government colleges. Throughout my career, government must have spent around say 25, 30 lakhs or even say 40 lakhs on me. In Once I become entrepreneur and paying my taxes genuinely, and we are medium sized company, but I was just calculating that day taxes, so we are paying almost 2 lakhs per day. Means that type of tax we are paying. So monthly it's turned out to be almost 60 lakhs. That type of taxes we are paying in different format. Forward income tax, that is the only different, GST and all these small taxes which we are paying. If you add it to income tax, it's much more. So government you have to pursue, because everything patience like is always means you can't blame government that my proposal is not getting clear. You should not depend on that. You should keep on putting your effort, find your own sources, and then go. If government is not supporting, you can't blame government. You have to own it and you have to push for your policy. Do you suggest to adopt agriculture and farming as a business in post-COVID era? How much? Frankly, agriculture as a business, I am not a right person, but it's always a very, what you say, that is a like roti kapda makan. We always say that a more sustainable business. I am into kind of a roti kapda makan, I'm into business of makan, or like coming from civil side. So rather I said that you do anything with passion, it's definitely going to be helpful. So you follow anything which you like and enjoy. Any key suggestion to budding engineer? That's what I told you. Have a patience. Means patience will only take you to places. Have a lot of patience and work hard, and nobody can stop you from being successful. So that's the only mantra I can give to be successful in business. I think I'm. Okay, so thanks guys for joining. I will end up here and wish you all the best in all your ventures. I hope to see a lot of entrepreneurs from this Think India group. Thanks a lot and take care.